Hello and welcome to my very first live stream here on the channel. I believe you're watching this from any platform. I'm streaming to Twitch, Behance, Facebook and YouTube. And if you're watching on any of these, you can just type a message, just say hello, say good morning, say whatever you need. I'll be looking at some of your messages. Some of the chats will appear on screen. Others, the ones who are watching from Behance, I have to look here to the tablet where I see the messages. But as I'm doing the work that I'm going to be doing, just give me a message, give me something. Or if you have any questions about what I'm doing and how I'm doing, I'll be explaining everything. And this segment is called Creative Motion, and I'll be just animating just an image that I found out in actually it was on Freepik, and we'll look at the image and we'll recreate the image inside After Effects and we'll just animate the image. This is like a segment of animations. Every Tuesday and Thursday I'll try to be here live. You can watch any platform that you feel. You have also, you see the links here, you have my socials, you see where I am, and you see this little thing, it's buy me a coffee. You can find the link in the description. If you find it useful, everything that I'm talking about here and doing the animations or explaining, you can also buy me a coffee, or just buy me a coffee because you want to buy me a coffee. And I have this little goal here of buying a Mac Studio just to make these live streams more interesting. And not only that, I have all this set up already. I'll start by going through After Effects and just showing the animation, what we'll be doing, and hope you enjoy this, and I hope you say something and say hello here. So as you can see, I can turn on the chat here. It's already connected, saying if you're guys over there, just say something, say hello, say good morning. And this video also will be posted on the YouTube channel. If you want to follow on the YouTube channel, you can subscribe here. It's not showing the subscribe, but it's Estrelado, and you can find the channel. Probably you're already watching at that YouTube channel. But so let's start with the idea. And talking about an idea, that's exactly what the image is. Let me show you the image. I'll just change to this image, and as you can see here, I brought this image down here to After Effects. It's a JPEG. It's an image. You might have the vector image, and even from Freepik you can find vector images over there. But I want to recreate this actually inside After Effects, so that's why I'm bringing just a JPEG, so I can recreate everything on top. So let's start by just importing this into a composition. What I'll do is I'll grab the JPEG and just drag to the composition to have a new composition with this image. I'll just lock this image because I don't want to move the image in anything, so I'll just draw on top of it. So if we analyze the images here, maybe when we are thinking about the animation, like this line here, we can actually, okay, just make some stroke animation here. Maybe these ones I can do a stroke inside and the stroke outside with the white thing. And over here I can just create like this ellipse, and might be fun to just drop them down and probably turn it on, and when it turns on you have the animations outside. So this is when you're looking at an animation and trying to decide what you're doing, you just have to be creative. This is just an idea, like the image says, and you can animate any way you want. It kind of really depends on you. It's your creativity of animating this. So I'll start by designing the light bulb, and for this I'll be using For example, here I can use an ellipse tool, just like this, and I'll be just zooming. I'll create from the center. If you press Command Shift, it will create from the center like this, and we'll drag a little bit over here. And now we're doing the stroke inside. Let's just open up the contents here. I'll put the stroke, and the stroke I'll just give it like around this, around 3. Okay, that's pretty much it. Maybe I can drag a little bit the ellipse over here. Okay, it's the correct size. It's the correct size. For example, here now we have this square, and instead of just working with the ellipse path, you could just merge paths. For example, I'll just inside shape layer, I'll create a rounded rectangle tool, because you can see the round corners over here, and I'll recreate something like this. Okay, those corners are too rounded. I'll go to the rectangle path, and the roundness I'll just remove a little bit until it's right there. Now what I gotta do is I want to merge these paths. So both paths are offside. Each one has its own folder for the rectangle and the ellipse, and I'll just grab this ellipse path and put it over here. Okay, you can see that position changed. I can delete this one. It's fine, because now I have both paths inside here, and I have my stroke. What I'm going to do is the ellipse path. I'll just change the position down. Okay, right about here. So what I need to do is merge them both. So you can use add, merge paths, and now you have them all together, and you created the bulb. You can actually turn this off. Let me turn off the here. Okay, as you can see, now I have the first part of the bulb created. Okay, for this part I might use like a stroke black and a stroke outside, or just a stroke outside. Maybe the black stroke will work. Okay, but I'll do it in another shape layer, or I could even do it on this one, but let's just keep things like separated. For animation wise, this could be helpful if you like have everything together, because once you want to move a light bulb, you can just move the light bulb all together. So here, okay, let's create another content. You can select the contents here, and with the pen tool, I'll just create from here and keep this, try to put these things around it. Maybe I'll zoom. Okay, as you can see. Okay. I'm clicking and dragging just to keep the curves and the points all Bezier points. You could draw this, and you could even bring this from Illustrator, but the idea here is just to create everything inside After Effects. Okay, like this. So we have our line. We could change the line. As you see, we can fill up the line to have the points inside. Even if you change the color, for example this shape, you can go here to the stroke just to make sure it's a good color. Okay, the screen is on the other screen. Okay, let me bring this to this screen. Okay, here it is. Okay, red, I'll just pick it up red, and this way I could see if it's filling that line or not, just to make sure it's corrected. Like for example like this, I can tweak the curve a little bit, as you can see here. Okay, let me just tweak a little more, maybe grab this point. Okay, as you can see, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Okay, it's red. Be careful not to keep adding points. I'll just undo that. And now what I'll do is the color, I'll just change to this gray. Okay, and I'll give this one stroke, or I could use fill if it was a closed line, but it's not. You would have to make both of the lines like a stroke, but created by lines. Usually in Adobe Illustrator you might want to do that, because strokes and scaling the strokes could be an issue. So I won't use fill. I can delete the fill. What I need is to give a second stroke. So I'll just add a second stroke, and this stroke I'll add it by saying okay, it's white, and I'll add it like this, but I'll put it behind the other one, so that you have first the black one and then the white one. So if we turn off this, you can see the light bulb is getting created. So it's pretty much the same. So we're going to start working on these curves here. Maybe this we can use a rectangle just with filled and round corners. Okay, maybe here we can just make then an alteration to that rectangle. So even keeping on the same shape layer, I have already my shape 1, my rectangle 1. I can change the name by just giving enter, and this is a filament. I don't know if it's like this that you record, but and here it's the bulb. Giving names, it's quite important because you need to actually do this. Okay, so I'm seeing some comments, but I actually don't see them. Let me change to this. Okay. Okay, no, it's not a comment. Okay, it's just something from Twitch. And okay, so now we're recreating this part over here. So I'll just grab a rounded rectangle and I'll create it from here to there. Okay, it might be the stroke too wide, so you can go to the rectangle. Okay, putting up the windows, bringing the windows to the other windows. Okay, cancel, and the stroke, I'll remove the stroke. Looks good. And moving the stroke and put the fill. As you can see here, the fill, it's already over there. Okay, I just draw another one by mistake. Okay, as you can see, it's all together. I don't want to move. I just want to grab this rectangle to see if it's on top of that one. Okay, it's fine, and I'll make a copy. But before I'll make a copy, I'll just change the color of, no, I'll just make a copy here. Copy and paste it on the contents. I'll put it over here, rectangle 2, drag it. You can drag using shift to make sure it stays in the same movement. Okay, another one. Another issue. You have to select the rectangle. Okay, as you can see here, rectangle. Okay. What's the issue with you? I'm not picking up the rectangle. Okay, I'll use just my keyboard, shift and arrow up, so I can drag it over there. And now, if I want to, I could use merge paths just to maintain the rectangle paths and the size and position and roundness, or I could do a merge inside this one, or I can just simply transform this rectangle path. If you want to transform this, you right click, convert to Bezier path, and now it's a path, so you can change the path as you want. And what I'll do is with the pen, I'll just give some more points over here, and another, and another, and another here. These ones I'll grab up like this. This one I'll grab up also. And with Alt or Option, you can convert them, or you can just go to the pen and convert vertex tool. You can select this tool and convert the vertex like this. So now, and with the command, you can line it up. Okay, be careful like this because you will break the curve. Okay, this is not what we want. So we have to go back to the arrow and put it like this to put it straight. Okay, here we are. And now the final one is just the line. Okay, that line over there, I'll just create a new one. And if you select on contents, you can drag the pen tool, and now I'm creating from above here, for example, a little above, and then just down here. Okay, so this is my shape, this is my path, stroke. I'll just give a color, just again red to see it. I don't want any fill, I just want the stroke, and the stroke width will be okay, like this. Now I just need to change everything back to white. The shape, this is the chord, let's give the name. The rectangles, what you can do is you can actually group them, because this is like all together. Maybe you want to animate separately or not, but you can group shapes. And this is I don't know how it calls, but metal thing. I don't know the name of this. So you have the chord, the metal thing, and you could change even the colors. You could do like, if you have a bunch of fills on each rectangle, you could just put the fill outside, inside the metal thing, and delete the other ones. Okay, but you have to put by order. So the fill, you have to put it after the rectangles. Now you just have one fill for all objects, and I'll just put it white. Okay, it's cool. So if we see here now, if we turn this off, we have our light bulb already created. And what we do now, because it's already created, and if we look at the other ones, we just, I'll put like bulb 1 and copy paste this, and I have my 3 bulbs. As you can see, once you put like a number, once you copy paste, it will increase the number. So this one, I'll just put it over there. Okay, let me just line up this. Okay, like this, and the 3, the number 3, and I'll put it over here. Okay. Okay, like this. Now we have our 3 light bulbs. We're just missing out the light, the turn on, and the idea. We'll do that. And okay, let's use the same shape on this one. I'll just focus on the number 1, on the one on the middle, number 2. And what I need to do is to create, grab the bulb here. You can turn on, like example, I'll copy the bulb for contents. I'll put it on top. And if you go to the bulb and, for example, turn off the stroke but turn on the fill, you can see that it's over here. If I bring it down, you can see the order. Okay, so this is down, those are creating on top of it. So if we look at the bulb, it changes a little bit. So the stroke, it's outside. We can probably put it on top and just cover everything. So for example, if I put it on top, even if I give a stroke, but I'll put the stroke, I'll just grab that yellow. Okay, and the fill, I'll grab the yellow as well. Okay, now it's fully yellow, like this. Once you turn on and off, you can see the yellow over here. Actually, the yellow, it's a little lighter here. It's darker inside. It's darker on the outside. It's not the same color. And I'll just press here, fill, and the stroke also. Okay. the bulb, when it turns on, it looks like this. But if we look at our image, once it's on, you don't have the stroke, the white, and you have the stroke like on that part over there also. So you could actually do an animation. Once you turn this on, you turn the other off. But if you turn this on, okay, if you turn this off, you could turn off the filament, the stroke of the filament, and it would look like this. Okay, so this is the final. I'll just put this on top now. The last layer, I'll put it on top so that we can see over. We can put it like this. Even that stroke, that one stroke, I can just grab a little more, make it a little bigger. Okay, and okay, so once you see it like this, once you turn this on and turn on the filament, turn on the second stroke and turn off the bulb and turn off the image, you can see it, it's back on like that. You can turn it on and then turn off the stroke and that second stroke. Okay, so this will be the animation. We have everything created. Oh, I'm forgetting about those lines over here, so I'll grab this and put it on the back again, so just that I can create on this layer bulb 2. Actually, instead of bulb 2, I'll call it bulb on. Okay, and for the bulb on, I could actually use we'll put this outside. We'll just do like this. We'll just create one from here to here. Okay, and what I'll do is this path. Okay, the stroke, it's at yellow. I'll as you can see, let me put on another color so that you can see it. I'll put it on blue. So if we look at this, we can like drag the stroke to the size of that one, and once you have that rounded corners, you just go to line cap and change it to round cap. Now the animation is like that. Okay, so we can put it back to yellow. I'll leave it at blue. I'll leave it at blue so that you can see what I'll be creating over here. So now what I want to do is duplicate this. Okay, so we could use, for example, repeat. Okay, but if you see the repeat like this, the repeating is, the repeater has the transformation, it's moving the position, it's repeating on position XY, and I don't want, so I'll put it at 0. What I want is to give rotation, and okay, as you can see, it's rotating like this. Where is it rotating from? The anchor point. If you try to change the anchor point of this, you see that we don't even see where the anchor point it is. Oh, it is over here. Okay, if we drag the anchor point over here, even if you change the repeater, now it's over there. Okay, so we don't need to change the anchor point over here. You just need to change the anchor point onto the object so that you could rotate. Or if you change first, you change the anchor point like this, and then give another repeater. You can see now here the transformation, move 0, and rotation, you can see that it's doing the same. Okay, actually it's not repeating as we want, so we'll just drag the anchor point down until it's on over there. Okay, so now you can see, if you do a bunch of repetitions, you can see that the anchor point is correct, or you can even move them. Okay, it's about here, and expand a little bit. As you see, we're starting to see the transformation. Now you see the copies. How many copies? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like this, and you just have to rotate more to fill the copies. Okay, let's say this is like this, and what you can do is, okay, no, undo. I'll just put more copies. Okay, now we can see that it's not perfectly aligned. We can just drag this one. You can drag the anchor point. Okay, maybe I need another copy. No, it should copy like this, but it's not copying the way I want. So position, okay, I don't need to change the position. This is not perfectly, actually. Maybe I should just put it from the other rotation. Okay, now we're at it. Okay, like this. I have to drag a little bit. Okay, it's not being perfect. Actually, this should be done by 0 and a turn, because you would have 360 turns, and for example, if you have 10 copies, now your anchor point and the position where you have your rotation, everything. No, actually, it's not like this. If you have like 30 degrees, okay, now this is the, okay, 30 degrees, and you can raise that, and you can see the 12 copies, no, 11 copies, like the clock. Actually, it's 12, and you can see the rotation here. Okay, pretty much it. Here. Sometimes it's easier just to make those 3 instead of doing the repetition. The thing that I wanted to use the repetition for is just to take advantage of this start opacity, and for example, we could work with this, but we'll just do it another way. It will be easier than doing like this. I'll just delete the repeater, and what I'll do is this path here. Okay, the path is over there, and the anchor point of it's over there. And what I'll do is, okay, if you transform this path, as you can see, because the anchor point is at the middle of the bulb, you can see that the transformation almost hits every time. Okay, you could change this a little bit. Okay, but if you rotate each transform, oh, I don't want to skew. Each transform will rotate and keep it aligned with that. So what I will do is I'll just move that over there, and the position over here and over here. Okay, like this. The anchor point, I should have changed the anchor point instead because it was nice. Okay, so I'll just keep the anchor point over there, change a little bit. Okay, it's about here. So if I just copy this path, I'll just put another one over here, path 2. But if you put it like this, you don't have multiple shapes. So instead of copying the path, I'll just copy the shape. And I'll copy the shape, shape 2. And if you go to the transformation, and now the rotation over there, okay, you could work with a little bit with the anchor point and paste another one. Transformation. Okay, you need just to rotate again and fix that a little bit. Every time you copy and you paste it on contents, it will bring it down. You can just bring it up if you want, just to keep it more organized. Okay, so now just another copy. Okay, I copied a group. I don't know why, what this group is. I don't want this group. I just want to copy one more. And this shape 5, transformation, rotation over there. Move the anchor point a little bit. You have to paste it on contents so it won't get inside. Even here you can see it transformed. Shape 6, transform. Okay, a little more. And just one more, paste. Shape 7, transform, rotation over there. Okay. And the anchor point. So this is one way to do it. Probably not the easiest way or the fastest way, but this way I'll be just creating those points. But now I want to group all of them. Shape 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just group shapes. This way I could use like shine, something like that. It's shining. Okay, inside the shapes, now we could actually just inside the group just put it outside the stroke and delete on each one the stroke and the fill. Each shape I'm deleting all of that one, because instead, like in over here, we want to just keep everything painted by one stroke and one fill. Okay. Okay. So now I'll just minimize everything. As you can see here, if you don't see it, like I can like zoom this a little bit, and here you can see that the stroke, I'll just put it down here. Now I have my stroke with the color, and I'm just going to pick the color over here. Okay, and this is it. Okay, if I turn off this one, now I have my bulb, my second bulb here with everything, my first one and the last one. So now we'll be doing animation, and for example, I could just put this down. Okay, just maybe do an animation of them just like falling down and jumping a little bit, making a little squishy. So I'll start with the first one, and let's say now you could use the transformation for the whole layer. Okay, for example, the position, and we could start with this position, just drag a little bit. This is the final position. You'll see that sometimes I'll just, because it's already created in here, so we'll start with the last keyframe and just drag it. This is the final position, and now for the initial position I'll just drag it up, and now I have my animation like this. Okay. Now, if we jump into the curves, we could do the curves. We could change the graphic type to value, as you can see here. We could use, for this example, we could use separate dimensions so that we can animate on Y and not the X, because I don't want the X to animate. This way I can play a little bit with the curves. And for example, I'll just grab both points, turn them into Bezier. This is an S curve. It will soften the animation, but we can make it. One thing about motion is you need to make them more dramatic. And I'm dragging this with Shift key and accentuating the S curve. And as you can see, it's faster in the middle and then slows it down a little bit. But if I want to make it a wiggly jump, I could do it like this. I can even drag this a little up. If I drag it up, you will see that it's over. So it's going to come down a little further and then stops over there. So as it like this. But it stops too fast. What I need to do is just with the command key or control key if you're on the PC, just do another keyframe and put it like this so that the curves go up a little bit also. You can actually drag this curve a little bit. This point, you see that the curve is not perfect. You could use the smooth for both sides. This way, this handle affects the other one. So let's see now here. Okay, does a little jump. We could do another just soft jump over here also. We can smooth that one. Like this. Okay. Okay, this is our animation. Maybe we could use for this animation, I don't know, the line could like not be actually straight, this line over here. But one thing is, if we're doing like this and already have the animation, okay, we could copy this animation to the other bulbs. Okay, so let's do that. So before copying that, I'll just go to the chord, and the chord, I have my path. Okay, it's like this. I need to give it more points. Just give us 2 points. As you can see with the pen, you have the plus sign. Actually, the mouse won't grow. I'll just give 2 in the middle. Okay, and as you can see them here, what we're going to do is at this point, the lowest point, it's stretched. So you just turn on the animation. Then at this point over here, okay, when it curves a little bit, we can actually drag this curve a little bit. Actually, I could use just 1 point instead of 2. Let me just go back and just give it just 1 point at the middle. Okay. I'll turn on the animation over here. It's the lowest point. No, the lowest point is here. Okay, this is the lowest point, and over here we could just drag this a little bit like curve. Maybe smooth out a little bit. Okay, and like this. And as you can see, now it folds up a little bit, and maybe once it goes back again, I can just go to the values. Here, I'm at the value. I'll just be careful to not to use the pen. I'll just copy this keyframe and paste it over here. So we'll rise and go back again. And once it rises more, like this, I'll just go here, around here, and I'll drag this point, make actually the curve like bigger, like this. So the animation will do, okay, let's look at the animation. And as you can see here, it makes it funny, like kind of gives the sensation of stretching that chord. Okay, as you can see here, it's lining up and smooths a little bit, so kind of creates a nice effect on the chord. We could, for this example animation, maybe we could, once it impacts, it will create the bulb, and we'll only have that part over there. It's not like we're just making stuff up. So what I want to do for that one is I'll go on my bulb, okay, and I'll give a trim path. Okay, so at this point, this is the point where it stretches, so this at the end I'll just turn it off. And no, this is, yeah, okay, and right about here, once it does the second push, it's already done. Okay, so it will be something like this, the animation. Let me just click it off. Okay, you can see, okay, it's creating the bulb once it impacts, but as you can see where it starts, I don't like where it starts. So what you have to do is just turn the offset to start it at one point that you want. And I want to start over there at the metal thing. And as you can see here now, okay, once it impacts, it creates that. Okay, so now I want the filament to pretty much do the same thing. Or I could use just a scale for the filament. If I just put the anchor point over there, and the filament, transform of the filament, I have the scale. You see that the filament, if you select the filament, the anchor point is over there, so you have to drag it over here. And you can see now that the scale, it will go from here. So once the animation is almost concluded, we'll start with scaling from 0 here to just a little bit, and 100. Let's animate those curves. Okay, put the curve smoother like this. I'll just do a more intensive S curve so that the scale will be more drastic. Okay, maybe it's too fast. I just have to drag this a little bit, or even start a little sooner. Okay, it's too slow over here. Maybe drag a little bit. Okay, once it's impacting, once the impact is first, I'll just start the filament growing. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, the filament is too late. We'll just grab this, all of that, and just drag it with shift, so you can drag it earlier in the beginning for them to start. Okay, so even earlier. Okay. Okay. Okay, the speed of the line, I also don't like it, so you have to animate the trim path here at the end. You can see that the animation is just linear, and linear also it's not too good, so I'll just drag it like this and drag that, make it more intensive. So okay, it looks nice. So what we can do now, and to finish up the light bulb here, if we have this one already with this, what we could do is just copy this one. But remember that we already created the bulb turning on for the other ones, the shine and everything. So if I just want to copy the animation, let's say you can select bulb 1. If you press the U key, you can see all the animations that are created for this bulb. And if you want to copy everything, it might not be as smooth as you wanted. So what I'll do is I'll just copy the bulbs again, okay? But I don't delete this one because I want to copy the things that we already created. So this third one we can actually delete it. This one I'll just turn it off, and I'll turn on the background so I can see it. Okay, and now the bulb one I'll copy, paste. I'll drag it over here. Okay, on top of this one. Okay, one thing you have to know is if you animate the position, now you're doing another keyframe. So be careful of that because we done the animation like this. What we could use is, for example, turn this into a pre-composition, right button and pre-compose before copying it. And went to another window. Okay, pre-compose, and we call it the bulb composition. Bulb 1 comp. Move all attributes, okay. And we have our bulb here. This one is another copy. I don't want this one. This is the one with the yellow thing. So we could actually just copy these ones. But before that, I want to open my composition. I want to open up my bulb, my contents, and I'll go to the contents of the one with the yellow thing, with the bulb on and the shine. I'll copy these two and paste it over here. Okay, so one thing we can do is turn it off. If you turn it off, you can see that it's animation. It's animating there, over there. And let me just turn the image over here. Okay. If you go back to the initial, if you go back to the composition and you turn that on, now it's animating with the on here, as you can see. So this will be an advantage, but what I'm doing is, because if I just animate this, it will animate on 3 if we just copy those. So I'll delete this one. I'll keep this bulb 1 composition, and on this bulb 1 I'll turn it off. And what I can do now is just copy these compositions. Okay, make another copy. Okay, let's call it bulb 2. If I turn it on, I'll put this on top of that one over here. Okay, so we have both animations. Okay, if you want one after the other, now you just have to drag the timing of the second composition afterwards. Now you have it one at each time. Okay, we can drag a little more. And I'll just copy the third one. Copy paste. And turn this on just to see where it goes. And it's over here. Okay. And it will be later also. So if we turn this off, I have these animations. Okay, 3 animations like this. Okay, so you have all the animations over here. Have some comments over here. Wow, very nice from Flip. Thank you, Flipper. And okay, so we have the animation over here, the 3 animations. If we turn on now, if you go inside the animation and just turn the shine, it will turn on for 3, for all of them. So what we need to do is just make a copy over here at the project of this bulb. I'll make a copy, and this bulb here, I'll call it bulb 2, and this one I'll call it bulb 1. Okay, so bulb 2, bulb 1. And now I see my bulb 1 here. On my bulb 1 I can delete this, the shine. Okay, and if I delete the shine now, I only have the animation like this, but I kept the shine on that copy, the bulb 2. So in the middle one, if you want to change this composition, because this is the bulb 1 to the bulb 2, you have to select it and select this one, and with the Alt key you drag it on top of that, and it will replace here the composition. So now you can see that this one is the bulb 2 over there and the bulb 1. So you have separate compositions, and as you can see here, the bulb 2 is with the shine on, and now you can open, expand this, and here the contents, you have the shine on. You can turn it off as we going to animate also the shine. So let's put the shine animation over here. Okay, let's work on the shining animation. So we have the shapes, we have the bulb on, and the bulb on will do, for example, this is the fill and the stroke. I'll just put this on top. So bulb on comes on top. No, let me put it on the bottom here, and I'll just, let's say, when I animate with just the fill opacity, just a simple animation, even like turning on, like one frame from one frame to the other. So opacity on this frame 0. If you press on to the next frame, you can use preview, or you can use command to change command on the Mac command and the arrow key to the right. You can just play one frame forward, and this way you see that you don't have a keyframe on that one, and now you can just put the opacity on, so it will do just a turn on the light bulb. Okay, so if you turn on the light bulb, also at the same time we can turn off and the stroke, the line, the white line here. So on the bulb here, you can go to the stroke opacity at the same time as the other. So one frame it's on this one is at 100, and the next one is off. Okay, so you can see once it turns on, the line disappears. Okay, we'll do the same thing for that second stroke over there. It's on the filament. We'll expand the second stroke, we'll put it opacity here, and in the next frame we'll just turn it off. Okay, so it's like this, the animation. And for example, for those lines, I'm going to try to make an animation like this. So we'll go to the shine, and we'll add on the shine. Maybe let's actually do the repeater now. Transform, we don't want to change position, we want to scale. Okay, so the anchor point, I want it at the middle, like this, and we want to scale like this. Okay, like this. And the end opacity, I want to like turn it off, and my idea is to like shine it like this. Okay, as you can see, woo, and make this cool animation using the offset you can see that the copies over there like this. Okay. So at what point do we animate? At this, we'll do the offset over here. We'll turn like this, and then animation just a few frames over, like 3 or 4 frames. Just drag them outside. Okay, it's really fast. Let's see how it works in the animation. We have some issues here, as you can see. Okay, so another issue is this. As you can see now, it's because of the position of the bulb, because it was next to that point, we're getting that. So to fix this, I'll just here on the bulb, instead of changing the position, because you have the position with animation, actually because we animated only the Y, you can change the position on the X and it will work fine. And now you still have your animation. One thing we need to do is turn off those lines before. Okay, so at the correct point they'll start. So I'll go to the contents and I'll use the shine, the transform of the shine. This is easy because I need to only at this point the opacity is at 100, before it's at 0. Okay, so at this point when it turns on, it will do the shine afterwards. And what we can do besides having that so fast, actually I'm going to use the repeater, drag this a little more so it will go slower, but I'll also animate here because I don't want them to cross over there. And even the position of this, I'll just bring it up a little bit. Anchor point, I'll just drag it a little bit upper. Okay, like this. And I want them to be over by here. So we'll go to the repeater, transform of the repeater, and the start opacity. If we animate this by here, it's off, and here it's at 100. So it works like this. Okay, really fast, just making the shine animation like this. Okay, let's go back. Now you see that it's off position. It's fine because we'll just need to drag it and put it on where it was. Let's turn on this one. Oh, sorry. We'll move this one on top of that one. And okay. Now we have our animation over there, and this one also is out of placement. Okay, we're about done with animation. One thing that is still there, it's the yellow line. If you see it in the beginning, this yellow line, it's still here. So this only comes on when the light bulb turns on. We'll go to the yellow line that it's the not on the shine, the bulb on, the stroke opacity. Here it's at 100, here it's at 0. Okay, I think this is it. Our animation is almost done. Okay. So if it's doing like this, probably I'll change the animations. I'll put this one first and this one later. Okay, so this is our animation. And one thing we still have to do, it's the idea. So what I'll do is I'll just create a new solid. and the solid window also goes to the next monitor, and I'll just drag as black. Okay, put it over here. I'll create also new light. Also the window is also on the second screen. So intensity point light, okay. And if I turn on the 3D thing over here at the dark gray, it's still too gray, so layer, solid settings. Come on. Okay. So I'll just put it a little gray. So yeah, as you can see over here, like this. If we turn on and off the light bulb, it's like this. Okay. So what we'll do is, once it's turned on, we go at the light options, and intensity it's at 100, and here it's off. So we'll put it like this, off at 0. Okay, so it will turn on that gray area. Okay, so that's pretty much our animation. Only we can, what else we can do is just finishing up with the idea. Okay, I'll just type in idea with, well, actually I'll type idea. Well, if I want to write it, I would draw all of this. I could draw. Okay, let me just check. If I do it like this, now I could do this, or maybe use the line to draw the idea word and just animate it. You could use right on, the effect right on. We could use the pen and make a trim out of that, but because today we are finishing, actually no, we can do this. Let me just start this and do the idea, and we'll do the idea here. So I'll just start a new, like this, the curve. If you don't want to see this as you're drawing, what you need to do is go here. Before starting to draw, you just grab the pen, go to the fill, turn off the fill, turn on the stroke, and give it like a stroke. Okay, give it a stroke, give the color, for example red, and let's say 4 pixels, that's enough. So this way we can start doing that, and it only brings the stroke. Okay, you can zoom. Okay, like this. So now the rest of the word. If you're thinking about the animation, so you start the point where you want to end, or if you're doing writing like this and then jumping, but you need to, in this case, have 2 lines. This one can be all together. So I'll start with, for example, if you write this like this, so I'll start it here, go around, okay. Okay, this I'm just correcting these points. If you keep dragging and keep doing like this and that. Okay. And now actually how you could write this, and yeah, we could go this route Maybe we don't write it like this, but that's fine. Here you can see, because of the curve, you might want to change the curve a little bit, just to doesn't go too intense over there. Maybe you want to, well, actually, you don't want to write it like this, but need to think of the animation as you go around, as you draw like an idea. And you go here, maybe you go up, but that's fine. We'll go the other way. And go back again. As you can see here, you have an issue once you want to go back, because if you put it over here, it will create another point at the curve. So you might want to do like grab the last point, create a new one over here, and then drag the point again. Okay. Okay. Here we can correct this point over here. Maybe give it a little curve. Okay. That's pretty much it. So now inside your shape layer, okay, inside your shape layer you have two shapes. Actually you have three, I don't know why. Which one is this one? Okay, we stopped it at, we created two. That's fine. And what we'll do is just have them three all, just delete the stroke on all of them, and the fill, stroke, stroke, fill, and on the contents now we'll give a stroke, and the stroke will be, as you can see here, like this. We'll put it round cap. Round cap. Why is it not round joint? Okay. And we could use the yellow color, not the shape, stroke. We could use the yellow. If you see here, actually let me just bring it up, the yellow. If you see here, the line, it's a little thicker, so you could use the taper to like increase the line, make it over there just in that point. Maybe if you just want, the thing is it's only here that it's wider, so you might want to create just this part over here with one line only, so that you could use the taper and just that part over there, just put it wider. Here I'll just put it at 0. Okay, it's fine. I'll just use like this. And what we need to do now, if we do the trim, okay, if we do the trim path, the thing is, because we wanted to write from beginning to end, you have to put it inside. You cannot work with all of them. If you do like this, they will start like this. Maybe this is what you want, and they'll animate the three parts at the same time. If you want each part at one time, what you need to do is just put this one inside the first. Okay, expand here. This trim will only go inside the stroke one. Well, actually, if you can't do like this, you grab both and make a group. Actually, group shapes. Now you have your group 1, and now you can put the trim inside the group 1. And the stroke, you have to put it outside again. You can see here, Now, if you do the trim, actually, you cannot do it like this. You have to put the stroke over there. The stroke has to go inside of each. Come on, man. Trim. And shape 1. Trim afterwards. And the shape before the stroke. Okay, so this is the order. Shape first, stroke, then the trim. In here, you can do it like this. So you have to animate this one first, then do the same for the others. So here, group shapes, and what I do is I just copy the stroke and the trim to the second group, and the same thing to the third group. Group shapes, group 3, and I'll place it over here. So as you can see now, we only have to animate the trims on the correct order. So once our light bulb is off, where is it? Where is our animation? Let me just turn this off. Okay, so I don't know what happened again with that bulb again. Why did it move? Maybe you should lock this over here. Okay, and the bulb. Where's the bulb? Okay, why am I not? No, it's not the shape layer. This one that I want to turn on and put it over here so I can put the bulb again on this place because it moved. Okay. I'll just lock the bulbs so it won't move again. This one I can turn it off. Now I'll go to the shape layer, and once it's turned on over here, we start to writing the idea. So over here, I'll start with the first trim on the first group. Okay. And now a few frames later, it will write. Okay. Once this one is done, right about a little bit because it jumps the pen, I'll go to the group 2, trim paths, and here we'll start at the end, a little further, and we'll drag it to over there. And because this is all connected, once this one ends, I'll start the next one. And then a little further, and okay. Let's see. Okay. So if the speeds are not working for you, you can just select the layer, press the U key, and now play with the speeds. And for example, like this and this. Okay. So now just put the stroke colors. Okay, we'll just pick the yellow. Second one, pick the yellow. And first one, pick the yellow also. Okay, now not like this, like this. Okay. This is the full animation of our video. Okay, so the last thing we need to do, maybe we could use some sound. If we want to use some sound, we could give it some sound. I actually recommend that you use something like Epidemic Sound. You can find an affiliate link down below, but it's what I use usually for my animations. And this way, if your animation stops at around here 5 seconds, let's say we want to 5 seconds, and you've created a composition with all this size, now we just go to composition settings, and it's on the other screen again. So we'll just put it with 5 seconds. Here at the timing, 5. And it will trim the things off. Okay, so now you have your animation, just to use it like this. Okay, just an idea, and you have the bulbs and everything. Okay, so exporting this, remember that you cannot export MP4 from After Effects directly. So if you add to render queue, you won't find any options of rendering. Again, the window is on the other screen, and you won't find even QuickTime here. You won't find anything. There's some ways of putting that directly over here, but I also recommend that you usually use the media encoder. That way you won't stop you from using your computer. Instead of doing this and giving to render queue, you just composition add to media encoder queue. This way you can export directly to MP4, and because this software just runs on the background, it won't stop you from doing other stuff because you're already planning out the posting of this idea. For example, I'll just go post this on Instagram or wherever, and this way I could use media encoder. Let me just change media encoder like this, and I have my idea here. As you can see, now I can just use H.264, match source or whatever I want, like for Twitter, these kinds of videos, YouTube or whatever. I don't have here Instagram, but I'll just match source high bitrate. You can see here what it does. If you press there, it will start a dynamic link server. Remember, this is connecting to After Effects, and the window is over here. You can see what are those settings, the frame rate and everything. So if you press over there, what I recommend is that you use the same settings of whether platform you're posting. You'll just go to Instagram and check on Google what are the specifications for the videos that you're posting or where you're posting. So let's just export this. I'll just put it into my desktop over here, and idea, and we'll render. The good thing about media encoder, it runs on the background. Actually, this is really fast, but it runs on the background, so it won't stop you from working, just finishing this. One thing I didn't do is to save the project, as you can see here. So if we run out of light, the computer and our project will boot down, because you still need to at least save one time so that you can have at least the savings, the auto save on. Just check if it's save or not. You have the auto save, see if it's turned on or not, because usually it's not. And here you can see save every 20 minutes. Maybe you want to change to 10. If it's too heavy, the project, you don't want to do it on each 10 minutes. So maybe 20, it's not too bad. Okay, and that's it. So I really hope you enjoyed this project, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have any questions on anything, just comment down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram or wherever the platform that you're watching this. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.